Welcome to the Caregiving Podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie. How are you?
I'm good, Inga.
Are you?
Yes.
Has it been a day?
Do I look like I kind of went through a knot backwards?
Yes, I have been through a knothole backwards today. Yeah, it's been wild here.
There's not a minute to just sit still. Yeah, and then you got to remember what you got to remember because it's important.
Oh, I know. I'm like double check, triple check, and then you still lose something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for today because today we're just talking, it's a pretty light subject and just some tips and keys to help our seniors with confidence.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I would like to know, is there a topic that you could talk about, like give a 20-minute presentation on and just go? Like if I said, Julie, I need you to talk for 20 minutes, what would you present on? And you can't say farts.
Oh, well, that's no fun. I can bull with the best of them. So I'm pretty sure I could just chat about anything. But boy, I get really excited when I talk about like IPAGA home care.
Yeah.
I can just feel it because I'm so passionate and excited about what we do. Mm-hmm. And that's one of them. My kids, everything that's going on there, the cows, it's just one of those things. I can talk a lot.
Noted. Same. I'm like you too, though. I get really excited when I talk about IPAGA home care. I get really excited when I talk about the Montana Royal, which is the junior livestock show. And then sheep, I could talk for days on sheep.
No, love that so much.
Oh, and my kids. Somewhere in there are the kids, right?
Of course.
Of course I said that first. All right. Well, verse of the week. I thought this was a really good one. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever.
Oh, here we are talking about how crazy busy it is today, and we're pulling out our hair just to try to keep up, and then this comes along. Yeah. And it's short, and it's sweet, and it's to the point, and it just reminds you, guess what? Jesus Christ is there for you no matter what, and it's not going to change.
Yes.
Just because you're being naughty doesn't mean he's going to change his attitude for you. And it's going to be, like it said, the same from yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yep.
Love it so much.
I take a lot of comfort in knowing that.
And forever.
And forever. Cool. Well, good one. I'm glad that you brought that one to us today.
Yeah.
And listeners out there, if you have a verse that you would like to share with us, please email those to thecaregivingpodcast@gmail.com. And send them in. We'd love to hear from you. What'd you bring to us for an uplifting story today, Julie?
I got to make sure I'm decent before I talk.
Are we ever decent?
Oh, I am actually... our topic today is different because we're talking about something that we don't even think about. When you get older, you usually get naturally more self-esteem because you know that you're confident in what you do. Right. And you do look back on some of the stuff that you were like, could have done that different way back when, but I did what I could with what I had, the knowledge back then. So as I'm thinking about self-esteem and I'm thinking about confidence, I actually was looking up a 30-day walking plan to jumpstart weight loss and boost your mental health. Oh, nice. And this was actually a program that Al Roker.
Tuna's very.
Are you going to go walking with me, Tuna? No, you'll carry me. So Al Roker from the Today Show.
Yes.
He was on this program, and he just lost so much weight. And so it's just a really great read about how getting outside and just walking and just letting go of the day. Listen to music, listen to us on podcast, any of that. Just get out and just stop. But it just, there's a plan in there. It gives a really cool little 30-day walking plan, and 20 minutes do this day, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, that's simple. I could maybe follow that. And so I'm going to try it. The other reason that it's top of mind is because my bratty sister, she just told me that she's lost recently about 20 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And it's because she said she's walking 3 miles a day.
It's crazy.
And that's a lot. And so actually from my house, my mailbox, I went down the county road and went to see how far like 1.5 miles was. Sure. So then I'd have to turn around and walk my sorry butt all the way back home.
You always have to think about that when you go for a walk.
Like, okay, how far? Because I have to get back home. So anyway, she was a motivator for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I was like, oh no, I've got to catch up. And so now
I'm competitive at all, are you?
I'm blaming her for this.
Whatever drives you.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just really a cool motivational thing for me to just look at. And there's apps on your phone. There's all kinds of crazy things to do. We really need to get better about taking a walk during lunch.
I know.
We do that occasionally, but we always get stuck in the moment on what we're working on. So we've got to get better about that.
Yeah. Especially now that the sun is shining more often than
Yeah.
not.
Well, I know. It's too cold. It's too windy. It's too this. I'm in the middle of a phone call. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, Tuna, you're going to have to go. Well, I came across a story that I'm a sucker for animals, as you would know, and I'm probably covered in cat hair right now. So just it is what it is for the day. But anyway, I came across this story about a group of volunteers that actually just recently completed. It was a 90-minute flight in a small 4-seater plane. Oh. They rescued 27 puppies.
Oh.
And essentially the project was spearheaded by a man named Michael Young. He's the founder of Alabama Puppy Rescue Flights. And his regular job is at the university as a professor, but he is also a qualified pilot. So, and he flies this rescue plane. So essentially what happened is this group started their adventure in Orlando, and 4 volunteers got on the plane. They flew 90 minutes to Alabama. So when they arrived, they were met by the volunteers from the Animal Rescue Relay who had collected puppies from overcrowded shelters in Alabama.
Oh.
And basically all of the puppies were in danger of being euthanized because the shelters were overfull. So essentially this flight comes in from Orlando, touches down. I mean, they're there for less than an hour. Basically this plane just gets loaded up with puppies. So what they did is the humans got on board first. There were 4 of them. And then they just kind of started loading puppies in around them. So there were 27 on this flight, and they had to pack super light because they wanted to make sure that there was room for the puppies. And
oh, no.
Essentially, so the whole flight back, they're just loving on all these puppies and damage control, trying to keep them from getting to the pilot because we had to keep that under control as well.
Flying the plane.
Yes. But anyway, one of the volunteers said, I was in pure bliss. I didn't want to land. I couldn't stop smiling the entire time.
Oh.
So when they landed, they were met by 15 more volunteers who took those puppies and then took them to various rescue groups across Florida.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's important to know that since then, all of the dogs have found their forever homes.
Oh, how sweet is that?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Well, speaking of puppies,
yes,
you've got a bunch.
We have 7 in the barn right now, and they all have homes. They're just right at 8 weeks old. We'll keep them for a couple more weeks and make sure that they get, because they're all working dogs, so they're going to go on to sheep farms or farms of some various nature. And oh my gosh, they are such loves.
Can you imagine? Because you get mauled by 7 of them. Add 20 more.
I can't. I cannot imagine.
And you fly in a plane.
It's an absolute wrestle fight. You go into the barn and you're just trying to they just swarm you. And so you're trying to move and not trip and fall and not step on them. And I wouldn't have it any other way because, you feel so good when you walk into the barn and 7 puppies are like you're the most important human on the planet.
Well, are you feeding them?
I am.
So there you are.
I am. Yeah, but they do it to they're so good. They're so good. They're non-discriminatory. You don't even have to be feeding them for them to love you.
Oh, that is what a dog is good for.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool. Those little 27 puppies.
Oh my word, that's the best story.
And they probably, I mean, how many dogs get to say they've ever been on an airplane?
Yeah, well, usually they're in a kennel in the bottom.
Yes.
Oh, well, not always, because nowadays service dogs get to sit next to you or something.
But not a lot. I mean, I wouldn't imagine there are a lot of dogs.
Not like
in the
that.
world.
But that's, can you imagine 27 of them?
That's a lot to manage.
Oh,
it's a lot to manage.
Yeah, could somebody get this puppy off my face? I'm trying to fly this machine.
Yes. Thankfully, it all ended well.
Oh.
No airplane crashes. And
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, moving into the topic of the day.
Yeah.
So you wanted to talk about basically just self-esteem.
Yeah.
And activities that seniors can do to help boost their confidence.
I just didn't even stop to think that, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I say this a lot, and it's just really a thing. I always laugh because I always say at Apaga, we suffer from high self-esteem.
Yep.
And that's because we have confidence in what we do and how we run things and the whole shebang. But as I was looking on the internet, they were talking about low self-esteem in seniors. And I was like, oh, that's the saddest thing ever.
Right.
I mean, honestly, there are times that you can be, feeling kind of not comfortable with yourself or whatever, but still when you're older to still have those feelings.
Sure.
And if you have them when you're little, it will follow you unless you really work on it. So it's like, let's work on it.
Absolutely. And there are things that are just simple, everyday things that if you do them, they're going to make you feel better. And if you feel better, you're going to feel more confident. And I mean, the number one on the list is just maintaining good hygiene.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And that's a lot of like what we do can help with that. So if someone's struggling to bathe by themselves or, whatever the situation is, maybe they can't brush their hair out after they take a shower or get it dry. Or, I mean, there's just all kinds of different things that we can help with. And you don't think about, because we take them for granted, right? Because it's something that I can do without a problem. You can do without a problem. But if someone's struggling with it and then maybe they don't want to ask for help or maybe it's embarrassing to them. So, finding out how to help someone maintain that good hygiene can be a big confidence booster.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, because think about it. They say, dress for success.
Yeah.
So, and we've always known that on a day when you have a meeting or something, you dress a little differently. But if you are in your sweatpants and your sweatshirt, it's going to be a little bit different when you are feeling like a slouch.
Right.
So
it's true.
Get dressed, get up, put on your makeup. I do have to tell you, there are a couple times here and there on a long weekend that if you come to the ranch, I may look like a snaggletooth.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, but I'm doing it because I want to. Because there are also times that I get tired of looking
so beautiful. Well, think about even when you're like sick or not feeling well and maybe you've been home for a couple days.
That's the worst.
Just getting up, getting that shower, getting dressed, it just makes you feel better.
Oh, what a boost.
Yeah.
What a boost.
For sure.
Stay active.
Yes.
Is a second thing. And that kind of goes back to my story of the walking. You don't have to walk far.
Yeah.
But just get outside or walk in the house, but just use it or lose it is a really big problem.
Well, and I always hear that exercise is it's like the best medicine and it's the least prescribed.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
just getting it's such a help to alleviate stress and anxiety. And think about us when we're at our desks and we're just overwhelmed and one of us is like, listen, we got to go take a walk.
Yeah.
So you go out, you make a spin around the block
Yeah.
and then it's just like, oh, I feel so much better.
Why didn't we do this before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, think about it because it increases your oxygen all over, up into your head, into your brain. And there's all of those chemicals. I'm not going to name them because I don't know, but they're fabulous.
Yes.
They get you going. They get you re-energized and then you can do more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spending time with friends is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you, maybe if someone is feeling isolated, trying to reach out and connect with groups or services so that you're not so isolated, but just being around other humans is important. We need that.
Yeah. I know, like when Sammy had to move so far away and she wasn't taking her normal people with her.
Yes.
When the kids moved on to college, it was like, get a group, a like-minded club,
Right.
And start there.
Yes.
Or go to church, find people that you just like to visit with, and go to Bible study or, coffee. And boy, you can't, but you have to work on that.
It's true. Well, and even, when Sammy moved, she was working from home, still working with us. And she was just missing that social component because even though she was interacting with us every day, it's not in person and she didn't have actual humans to go and talk to and, face to face. So it makes a big difference. I think that, having some social interaction is important.
Very important. Very important. The next one is wear clothes you love.
It's true.
Oh my goodness.
It's true. How much better do you feel when you put on a piece of clothing and you're like, dang, I really like this?
Yeah. So, basically seniors think that they're too old for fashion. Some of them. Now, Patsy has always been a beautiful diva. And she, the other week, she was not doing well. And so they took her to the emergency room and she was in her pretty silky jammers. And I think I might have told this story before, but she also had her big coat on, her bath coat. And anyway, as she was being pushed into the ER, she was just madder than heck that she didn't have her face on and her hair done.
Oh.
And that, so many people older like that in that generation, that is so important. And you never get past that.
Right.
Because to her, one of the biggest things that she enjoys is she has a face moisturizer that she loves. And Aunt Vicky is so good about keeping her in with a bunch of it.
Nice.
And because, she just feels so much better.
And that's what makes her feel good and confident. And Grandma Fisher likes to wear clip-on earrings.
Oh, cute. Yeah, I was just going to say accessories.
Yep.
You match it.
Yep.
Me, I'm not a matcher.
Well, wear what's comfortable, wear what you like, and you'll feel more confident. Home modifications.
Yeah.
So when you need to make some modifications in your home, it's important that you do that. And you can gain confidence because you might be struggling with something that you're not able to do in the home. Once you get that modification made, you might be able to go back to normal with it.
Boy, that messes with your head. You're just like, okay, it's in the middle of the night, but I have to go to the bathroom, but I am afraid that I'm going to bust open my chin. I'm going to fall. But you know what? How about some night lights?
Right.
How much, what can we make or add to anything to make it easier?
Yes.
And self-confidence. It's all little baby things.
Yes. Safety. Like just that comfort of feeling safe. And like you're saying, night lights, that's huge.
Yeah. Yep. Volunteer.
Yes.
There's some really incredible programs around here, seniors helping seniors.
Yep.
So there are those that are still, young and spry, regardless of their age. And then there's others that just they're tired and they're not able to get out as easy as some. So, but big deal, let's all get out there together. And
my grandma Fisher has always been the best volunteer, and she's really instilled that in me, I guess, and all of her kids and grandkids. Basically, she was on the election board, or she would help with the elections.
Oh.
She's not been doing that more recently. Prior to COVID, she was volunteering at the Clothes Closet, which is the secondhand store in Columbia Falls. And as long as I can remember, she's been a volunteer there. And there's a lot of different things that different people do. Some ladies come in and they help cut rags. Some people come in and they'll help, like Grandma would help at the cash register, and some come in and sort through the items that come through. I mean, there's just so many opportunities to be able to make a difference, I guess. And
any topic, the pets, the puppies.
Yeah.
All of that is volunteer. Then we've got the food pantry. We've got the clothes pantry.
Yes.
All of that.
I have this friend that I used to work with. Her name was Linda, and she's just the most phenomenal. She loves dogs. So basically, she volunteered. Anything that you can volunteer with a dog, you will find her there. She's incredible. Oh my gosh, she's just amazing. Yeah.
but that keeps her going and happy.
Keeps her going and happy. She retired, and now she just is, that's a big focus for her. She rescues dogs and then helps at the local animal shelter. And it's like her life.
Oh.
And it brings so much joy to her.
And others.
Yeah.
That's great. Great. So another thing is just simply go get help. Find a therapist to talk to about your situation. It is never too late in your life to put back aside past transgressions, right? Yeah. I mean,
For sure.
if you're holding on to something and you're mad about it still, get over it. Figure out how you're going to. And sometimes it takes a paid professional because they know different ways to help you work through your guilt, your frustration, resentment, whatever. Because that's no fun.
Well,
no way to live.
I think it's really important that people do find an outlet if they're holding on to things that are holding them back. We have experienced with clients towards the end of life how much of an impact it can have if they have things that are unresolved in their life. So if you're hanging on to something or it's holding you back, talk to somebody. There's lots of options out there. It might not even be, in person. You can go online. There's just all kinds of ways that you can kind of talk and let go of some
pastor,
stuff.
that telehealth, like you're saying. Yeah, there's, EPAGA Care and Share.
Oh, yes.
Just get on there and say, I am really mad at this. And then everybody would love to say, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. How can we resolve it? It actually is so freeing to let things just out. Yeah. That's why I'm so free.
I know.
I don't have a secret. I don't have a problem.
The older I get, the more I'm just like, I'm just going to say what I say, get it out, and move on with my life.
Is it love me or leave me?
Yes. Well, I have actually, so I can roll into some grandma sayings. And this one actually isn't a grandma saying, but it's something that a very wise person said at one point. So no matter what you say or do, the people who love you are always going to love you.
Yes.
And the people who don't never will. So basically, whether you're good or you're bad, the people who love you, they're always going to love you. Whether you're good or bad, the people that don't, they're never going to. So gotta let go of it.
So true. And so many people are hung up on that.
Oh, yeah.
They care about the wrong people.
Yes.
And they're letting that govern their lives.
Yep. And trying so hard, they try to be bad, they try to be good, and they're not ever getting what they want.
It ain't going to be right ever.
You just have to let it go because those people aren't ever going to be.
So say that one again, because that's really good.
So basically, no matter what you say or what you do, say, do, or don't do, the people who love you are always going to love you. And the people who don't never will.
Yep.
Right? Did I say it the same? Not exactly, but
perfect.
Close enough.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, basically, confidence can be achieved at any age, and we all deserve it.
Yeah.
We all deserve to be happy as we can be, whatever that means to you.
Yep.
Right? And so if you're struggling with something, let's figure it out. Why? And how can we let it go?
Sure. And what do you need? What's the little boost that you need? What can you do for yourself to help you kind of get over it and move forward and feel just a little, like you sit up a little taller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me too.
I love that.
Awesome. Okay, I have one more.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to be traveling, and something that my Grandpa Fisher used to always say when we would be hitting the road is, remember, make sure you keep it shiny side up, rubber thingies down.
There you go. That is words to the wise.
Yep.
Yes. And just to wrap up this whole segment of self-esteem is a saying that says, I'd rather have been a has-been than a never was.
Awesome. On that note, peace out, Girl Scouts.
Have a good day.